Hey everyone, it's me. Well, just one Mozam boy here, because, well, yet again, we couldn't really figure out how to record with the other one here, but he did help in the making of this video. One interesting fact about me, if you guys don't know, I like Apex Legends. You could maybe tell that, I'm not sure. But anyways, so since me and the other Mozam boy we know what we're speaking about and everything like that. Well, since the new season started and a couple weeks in, I thought we'd go ahead and make a tier list video for everyone. So we got all the legends here, and we're gonna make the tier list. These picks are, like, their placements are based on their team abilities and their abilities on their own if you are left in like a solo situation, or like what they can do to the team and how beneficial their abilities are. So yeah. Now, originally I thought no legend deserved to be an F tier. In their own right, every legend can be useful. But then I just remembered Loba. Loba is just a bad legend. She got a buff she didn't need. She got a buff to her ultimate instead of her tactical ability. Her tactical ability is by far the worst thing she has in her kit. You can reach to high places, but it's usually more so for getting to those high places. Not like you can rush into combat with it if you throw it from a distance, but you cannot escape combat from it. The only way I have ever successfully escaped combat from it is either in Bangalore smoke or I just get lucky. It never goes well for me. And her ultimate, it's cool and all, but only 2 items and not the best range. To be honest, you should just rather go ahead and go pick it up, since you can see the legendary and epic loot from like through walls and stuff like that. So I'm not exactly now, on the topic of a buff or maybe a rework for Loba, I'm not exactly sure what she could do. Really, she just needs a buff to her tactical, and I think that would make her a bit better. Because the tactical, like, if they buff its range and how fast you can move in it. Because right now, for some reason, you can only walk with it, which leaves you very vulnerable. So yeah, Loba deserves her spot in F tier as the worst legend. Now in E tier, we have Bangalore, and Bangalore on the surface, her kit seems interesting and fun. Her passive, well, from my experience, is by far her best ability. It always helps. That 2-second speed boost can always help out in a lot of situations. It also acts like a Wraith, like her Wraith's passive. It's because when, say, they miss their shot, you get the speed boost knowing someone's there. Her smoke seems cool on the surface, just like her whole kit does. It winds up being more of a detriment to your team and you than the enemy sometimes. And you can just plan up being a toxic Bangalore and just smoke the whole area in combat. Her ultimate, as Macro put it, it's lackluster. It's bad for your team as well. It acts more as a zoning thing than damaging. Gibby's ult is a prime example of how that ult should have been done. I'm not sure what they can do to Bangalore at this point, because she's always been a male legend, and I think she's gonna be a male legend for a long time now. She's just she's not good right now. Well, she's okay. Like, if there was a solos mode, she'd be a pretty good legend to use. They should really make a solos mode. Next up, we have Rampart, all the way in D tier. Now, Rampart, she seems very, very good on the surface, and, well, she's good. You just have to know where to place things. Her covers usually wind up doing more than Sheila. Sheila, you have to have the pitch-perfect placement in order for it to do very much. It kind of helps, but she does take a long time for you to get set up. So she's more of a campy character, and it's still a bit hard to set up. There are certain buildings where it works. There are others where she just has a hard time. There are so many Sheila placements that you need to know, and there's just spots where Sheila needs to go, and sometimes those spots might not even have enemies. Her kit's good and all. Her passive makes the devotion even more broken. And from my experience, her covers wind up doing more, well, than anything else in her kit, because they are genuinely helpful if you can quickly set them up and then just, like, let them, fully set up for just a minute. They usually help a lot. They're great for rezzing, they're great for peeking and things like that, but overall, Rampart is just a male legend for me, in my opinion. She just does make the most broken gun The most broken gun in the game, even better. So when the devotion's out of the game again, because you know it's gonna be, I think she's gonna go down even more. I'm not sure though. That's just a prediction. Now, all the way in C tier, we have a tie. We have Mirage and Octane. Two very good legends. So, first of all, we'll start with Mirage. Oh, and both of these legends would be great in the solos mode, might I add. So, Mirage, his old Mirage wasn't all too good. His decoys kinda sucked, and his ult wasn't the best ult in my opinion. The other Mozam boy would disagree until the end of time, but I don't really think his ult was all too good then. But now it's very disorienting since you all move the same way and the decoys just spread out. It's very, very disorienting to the enemy, and, well, that's usually just how it is. His passive is great. He's probably a better... Him and Lifeline are very close on who's best at resin. Get him a gold bag and he's fine. But, yet again, he's held back by something. Not the biggest team supporter here. His abilities, like I said, are made for... It's like a solo kit. The Mirage and Octane are very solo-kitted legends. That's why I said they'd be great for a solos mode. They are just great legends on their own, but better in a solos mode. They're just not... They don't have enough team... They can't support the team enough for them to be really all too pickable. But, you know, Octane main for life. Octane, he's about the same thing. He is most definitely the best, one of the best rushing legends. He goes in there and gets things done. He doesn't flank or anything like that. Octane is the one who rushes in the middle and gets things done. He's literally the legend known for 1v3ing. It kind of bothers me when people call these two legends trash because they're not. They're just not team supporters. And that kind of bothers me because there's a lot of people who don't know how to use either of these legends and try and play them like flankers or something like that, and then they call them trash. And, well, my response is do it like Macro does and things like that. Learn the legend before you start talking trash about them. Next up, all the way in B tier, we have Lifeline. And Lifeline, she's in B tier because she would be in A tier if it wasn't for one thing. Her ultimate. It's not good enough right now. And especially everything being Evo shields, it's much easier to get higher level shields now compared to how it was in, say, Season 5. I'm okay with them just completely reworking her ult. Yeah, you can get heals and things like that and weapon attachments, but that shouldn't be ult worthy. Especially say like late game, you all have like purple to red Evo shields. Like it's just useless past late game, and it's frankly not even useful or all too useful early game anyway. So Lifeline, she has her kit's great. Her passive obviously is great for rezzing. Doc is just a good healer, and then the ult, like we just said. Next up in B tier, we also have Pathfinder. Now, Pathfinder is by far still the most mobile legend compared to Octane, but Pathfinder, like I've been talking about probably, he's on a 35-second recharge on his grapple. And, well, the buff he got this season kind of sucks. Even if they fix his tactical's recharge time, his passive still gonna suck. He's very mobile compared to Octane, but he's still the most mobile legend, and he's still a good legend, just not a must-pick anymore like he used to be because he's a lot slower now and his hitbox is big. He also doesn't need low profile anymore because of how big his hitbox is now.
Ay, 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 ay.